Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel and welcome back to GreenRiver. This is episode number 20 and we are still in our same game day that we have been for the past two episodes. I went ahead and decided to stick with this episode and we would sort of take advantage of sort of the calm before the storm as far as some of this other work that we're going to need to be doing shortly. And of course I've just run into the fence post there, but we'll sort that out here momentarily. I think I did the exact same thing the last time that we did this particular job over here. It is just a little bit difficult to maneuver this short little wheel-based trailer, and man oh man are these arms pretty wide. If we were an aeroplane, we could certainly fly, right? Anyway, thought I would take advantage of this opportunity to get a third layer of fertilization on our hay meadows, because you know we are going to be cutting grass here pretty soon. I would say probably within the next couple of game days. We will be resuming our mowing process, getting all of our fields. We've got this field which we own, and then we have two other fields which we lease, cutting those again for the second time, and hopefully we'll be able to get a total of 3 cuttings. That is kind of my hope and desire. Maybe Mother Nature will help us out a little bit and give us some rain as well. I think when we cut this grass area here the first time, I'm pretty sure we were only fertilized up to possibly the second level, and this is giving us our third. I think it's giving us our third level. Let's just check really quick to be sure. Yeah, that's giving us our nice dark blue color, so basically everything is going to be matching, and we will, whether we get it done on this video or I do it off camera, we certainly will get over and get those other meadows taken care of that we are leasing, and get those bumped up to the third level as well. Because hey, why not? If we're going to go through the effort of cutting the grass, we might as well make sure that we have a pretty good helping of it. That way when we convert that over to hay, and most likely we'll bale this. As I've said before, I don't think we'll do any more hay pellets. I think the next time that we do any of the pellets in the pellet making facility, we will be doing those with straw. And of course I would expect the amount of money that we're going to get for that is going to be a little bit less than what we would normally see. With I'm just really bad at turning this thing, aren't I? I'm turning just a little bit late, I believe, based on the working width of the boom and everything. So anyway, I'm sort of I suppose I'm sort of a novice at this particular fertilize sprayer apparatus. It's a little easier to judge your turning with the self-propelled units, I think. I don't know, who knows, because at least that unit is kind of turning all in one piece. This thing kind of has obviously the hinge effect with it being a trail behind trailer type unit. It is a little difficult, at least for me. I'm sure you all are pros at this thing and can whip around your farms and your fields and everything and not have any problems whatsoever. But hey, I'm just not as lucky, I suppose. But let me tell you something, am I so tired. Now, yesterday you guys watched ETS episode number 9, and that was on Thursday, June the 7th, and today you're watching this video on Friday, June the 8th, and I'm recording this episode on the 22nd of May. Getting a little bit ahead here. I'm trying to get 3 weeks worth of videos in the queue, because I've got that week of work that I'm going to be doing out of town, and I'm not going to be able to record for about 4 or 5 days or so. And so I am working to build myself about a 3-week queue, so that I only fall about 2 weeks queue at that point, and then just try to maintain that to maybe 2.5 weeks or so until we get ready to go on vacation. And my goal for that is to basically, and I'm going to do it again, aren't I? Oh no, I did it just right that time. timed it just right, I guess. But anyway, my goal for vacation is to get up to basically get up to 3 weeks of videos recorded in advance. That way there is no pressure when my wife and I get back into town from being gone in Europe for 2 weeks. We won't have any, or I won't have any pressure to get down into the basement and start recording and cranking out videos if I don't feel like it. Jet lag is something that I do suffer from. It's not as bad coming back home as it is going over. I am just dog tired for a couple of days as we get over there. I think a lot of it has to do with just especially if the weather is a bit wet and gray and stuff like that, kind of like the UK and Europe can certainly be. That kind of, I think, tends to play havoc with my sleep rhythm and everything. But I am super tired today. I had one of my sleepless nights last night. I'm not real sure what was going on. Not sure if I had something on my mind that just sort of subconsciously is disturbing me. A lot of stuff going on at work and everything that might be playing into it. But anyway, I did wake up sort of in the middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep. And so I'm kind of like, well, you know, I've learned this lesson many times before. There's no need in me just laying there, and because I ultimately will just toss and turn until it's time to get up. And so I decided, well, I would get up, and was up messing about with Discord and Facebook and Twitter and such for about maybe 45 minutes or so, and then I got sleepy again and decided to go and give it another try. But you might remember I was talking about in yesterday's episode of ETS2 when we were driving that big I think it was an evaporator tank or something from Brussels over to Amsterdam, which is obviously right sort of in this neck of the woods here, since this map is situated in the Netherlands. You might remember I was talking about the tree that my wife, I came home from work and I wasn't even in the door good, and she's like, hey, I want to go get a tree. So I came home from work, and like I said, I'm pretty super tired today. But I figured, well, you know, it hadn't started raining yet, and we get these afternoon thunderstorms that kind of roll in each afternoon around this time of year. We get some upper level disturbances and such, and it creates these little quick-moving thunderstorms that come through. And so I got home early enough before all that started to break loose, and decided to go ahead and dig a hole, and I've got that big hole dug. It's about 3 feet across and about 3.5 feet or so down. Got it as far down as I could manage it without killing myself. So we got the tree planted, so obviously I don't have to worry about that now. Over the long Memorial Day holiday weekend, I can certainly go ahead and get some R&R time in. I'm sure there'll be some other projects that will need to get done over that weekend, but I decided to go ahead and put that tree in the ground, and hopefully that just the effort of digging that pretty good sized hole, or at least pretty good sized hole for me, that in the combination of only getting about 2 hours of sleep last night will play right into my hands tonight and just simply knock me out. So that is certainly what I'm hoping for, and fingers crossed that is what's going to happen. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. I appreciate you all tuning in for another episode here on this wonderful map. I'm really enjoying this, and I haven't made up my mind yet if we're going to play just one season on this map, or maybe we're going to go around maybe twice. I am sort of considering it, because I haven't thought about where I might be in relation to this map and the Europe trip and stuff like that. The Europe trip is still a couple of months away, I suppose. Actually, maybe it's a little further away than I actually think that it is. It might be closer to about 90 days away. So I'm really not sure, you know, the rate that we're going. This is episode number 20, and we're early summer, so I could see that this series, unless I do just a whole lot of off-camera stuff and just kind of rip through the rest of summer, this series could actually go quite long, quite a number of episodes, again, unless I do decide to shorten it. I really haven't made a decision one way or the other, but I was sort of thinking today when I was at work, kind of looking at things and looking at some of the other maps and everything out there, I was sort of thinking that maybe we might just play this thing another year around and just kind of see how we do with the money situation and everything, because obviously we're going to get a point to where that normally when I play these types of maps, we're selling quite a bit of crop to generate money, but a lot of the crops that we have planted, and of course Billy Bob is out there right over there in that field, just right over there, the same field that he ran the tractor off into the pond. He's over there planting soybeans, so that is going to be the very last field that we have to plant for this particular year, unless of course the wheat comes in really super quick, but I don't think it is. I'm not going to be crossing my fingers that we're gonna really have. I'm going to go ahead and spray this here, but I'm not crossing my fingers that we're going to have the ability to harvest both a wheat and a soybean off the same field like we did with Midtown. I just don't think it's in the cards, and so that's okay. But we could certainly, if we choose to play this map a second time around, I think it might be fun to do that. But again, it'll kind of be a decision. I might be bored of this map by the time we do kind of get around to finishing it, and if I'm starting to get a bit bored with it, then it's going to be in my best interest, as well as potentially your best interest as well, for me to go ahead and shift gears and go someplace else, because if I'm not having fun on it, then it kind of defeats the purpose for me to play it, I suppose. Alright, so we have got that done. I think what I want to do is, while we are spraying, we didn't get to do a lot of spraying yesterday because I wasted a little bit of time thinking that there was a spot to fill up our liquid fertilizer up at the garden center, but there was not, and of course there certainly were none of those tanks that we would normally see, the blue tanks up there. Of course, I was thinking sort of after the fact, I guess probably during that time frame when I was laying there tossing and turning, I was thinking, well, you're stupid, Jerry. Silly boy, why didn't you just plop a placeable down there? Because I've got some liquid fertilizer placeable tanks that I could have just dropped right there, and Bob's your uncle, but I wasn't thinking, and well, that's sort of what happened. So let's see if we can fill this up, and then I think what we'll do is we'll run over to the other fields over there and get those done, and we'll just kind of make this episode about spraying liquid fertilizer, and I'll try to make sure that we do certainly something else and not duplicate this effort again throughout this, at least throughout this year, unless we decide to play the map one more time. But I am sort of still kicking around the idea of playing Pine Cove Farm again, and I completely forgot. It's what happens when you start getting older, and those of you that are young whippersnappers, you will eventually understand what I'm saying. The words coming out of my mouth will start to sink in on you, and you'll start realizing that, as we get older, we start to forget about things and lose track of what we've been thinking about and all this kind of stuff. Well, come to find out, and again, thank you to DC, I believe it was, or maybe it was Chris, that pointed out to me that we did play about 20 episodes of Pine Cove Farm on this on my channel, and I had completely spaced that. But as soon as they said this and sort of reminded me, I'm like, yep, you're absolutely right. I sure did. Now, I know that we set up Pine Cove for the multiplayer server, but I had also, like I said, did probably 10, 15, 20 episodes or so. I haven't actually gone to look to see exactly how many episodes we did, but I do recall it now. And basically, it got corrupted. The map got corrupted with an update from Seasons, because that was kind of in the time frame that, let's see, I thought we could fit through here. I thought there was a road, but there may not be, so we're just going to squeeze right past here and try not to wreck those crops too bad. I don't. Yeah, there was an issue with the. What am I trying to say, Jerry? Come on, spit it out. There was an issue with Seasons, because that was during the time frame that Seasons was still in beta, and it was only available to a certain amount of people. And so, as I was basically updating the Seasons mod as they were releasing updates to it, and at some point something got sideways with the map, and it just basically caused some problems. And I said, well, we're not gonna put up with that. And I think it was the fact that my soybeans, I think it was soybeans, or it might have been sunflowers. No, I think it was soybeans that basically vanished out of the field. And it was more or less because I planted them too early, and maybe a little bit of that was not really fully understanding how the Seasons mod worked. But I also think that there was something else that went on with it, and it just, either performance, something happened. Maybe it was a Giants update, I don't know. My gosh, I've slept a couple of times since then, and probably at least once or twice had a fairly decent good night's sleep from that. But anyway, it is what it is, and if we do decide to play it, then we'll certainly give it a good go. Try to get a good go playing it. Stevie has updated quite a few of his maps, and I don't know if I 100% understand exactly what he is doing with his maps, how he's updating them, but I know that he is releasing them again, making updates to them and releasing them. So I certainly want to give it some time so that he can work his magic and do whatever he is going to do with his map, so that way whenever we do sit down, if I choose to sit down and play a Stevie map one more time, especially like Pinecode, for example, all the updates, everything is working well with the map, and I don't have to worry about applying a map update and starting over and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of map updates and starting over, let me just throw this out there now. I think I clarified this early on in this series, but I want to just sort of mention it one more time. I am not playing the latest and greatest version of GreenRiver. And now the reason for that is because when I made the decision to start playing GreenRiver, this was still back in the time when obviously we still had Tazewell County going, and I think I was still doing some stuff on Thornton Farm. And so it was sort of my plan to introduce a new map and eventually sort of scale back to just one Farm Sim 17 map at a time. And so I had downloaded the map, I had put in the water feature, which was, not an easy task for me, because I'm not a Giants editor aficionado. I'm kind of a noob at that, certainly. And so I did all that work, and I had placed all my equipment, and even started doing a bit of pre-stuff, like, buying in some bells and stuff like that. All the kind of stuff that I typically do to bring a map to life before I really start playing the map and everything. And so basically because of that situation, I suppose, when I realized that they had updated the map, I had already put so much work into it that I really didn't feel like redoing it all again. And I knew that when the map was first released, it had the compost facility, it had maybe it had the biofuel plant, I can't remember, but then he took those out. And then that's the version that I'm playing, is the one after he took those out. So I went to all the trouble to put those in and do all the gravel work and everything to make it look nice and neat and everything. And so he put those back into the final release, which is obviously available on the Giants Mod Hub. So if you are interested in playing this map, then obviously you're going to be playing the updated version that's going to have the compost facility, and I'm pretty sure the compost facility on his map, or on the updated map, is located at the garden center where we were messing about yesterday trying to find a liquid fertilizer buy point. But then also there's some notes mentioned in it that he fixed the pallet spawning for the sheep area. Now I don't certainly notice an issue with it. I don't know what he supposedly fixed with that, but the pallets are spawning, as far as I can tell, they're spawning just fine for me. We actually did some of that work in the previous episode, but I believe that he also may have fixed the sawmill. So the sawmill, that I was not 100% certain if I had done something with the map when I had it in GE and maybe I broke something with that. Evidently that was maybe an issue on his part, which he resolved in the updated map. So again, if you are interested in playing this map, you will obviously be playing the version that was released after this map, after I downloaded this map, and it will have the compost facility, and it will have the fixed pallet spawning area at the sheep area, but also have the fixed sawmill. So that is cool. And of course, remember, I put the water feature in, so if you load up your map and you're going, now where is that water feature that Jerry has on his map, that you will need to place yourself through Giants Editor. And hopefully maybe someday somebody will create that mod and be able to create that in in maybe a placeable that doesn't have to be, that Giants Editor doesn't have to be used in order to install it. But I don't know. I don't really know enough about that kind of stuff to determine whether or not that is something that is feasible. So we're going to go ahead. We've got about maybe 5 minutes left of this video, and I'm just going to go ahead and see if we can make it over to the other field, our other leased field that we have. It's over kind of behind the pig area over there. I'm going to go over there and see if we can get that sprayed really quick. If we can't get that done inside of 30 minutes, then obviously I will do that off camera, and we'll get all this grass spraying done today. At least this gaming session for me, I'll get all this done. That way, whenever I do feel pretty confident that the grass is fully matured and ready to go, we'll break out the big M again, and that way we'll be getting maximum yield off that cutting. And that way, because it takes the same amount of work to cut the grass if it's first level of fertilization or second level or certainly third level. So we're going to be getting the maximum yield, and that's going to be really cool. So there's our pigs. They're all happy as a pig in mud, I'm sure. And I think I pointed this out over here. One of my viewers asked about the place to sell lumber, and it was right there at that other sawmill facility. I think you can also sell bark there as well, or wood chips, I should say, not bark, but wood chips. But of course, we're going to be taking wood chips, and we're going to be doing, I don't know if we'll do 2 episodes per game day for the rest of the summer, because obviously that's going to mean a lot of wood. That's going to be a lot of sawmill work, or a lot of wood cutting work, and I don't think that I will subject you to all of that. Certainly not sure I'm going to subject myself to all of that either. But I think that just maybe, we'll do maybe 1 episode per game day until the harvest starts coming in, and then at that point we'll probably need to look at going back to at least 2 episodes per game day. And again, this is kind of a special exception, just simply because I really wanted to get this grass topped up to the 3rd level of fertilization. I thought that was important, because, hey, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, I really think that the cost of putting the fertilizer down is probably going to be pretty minimal compared to the yield that we're going to get off of these 3 fields when it comes time to cut them. And I think that's more important anyways. So I will start wrapping things up because I tend to blabber a little bit whenever I start saying my goodbyes and everything. Gosh, you ought to know me in person and be a family member or a loved one or a very close friend and come visit me and me trying to say goodbye and everything. But I do appreciate you watching my videos. I really, really do. If you are watching my videos and you have yet to click the subscribe button, please do that. That really helps to motivate me. It motivates all of us content creators, to be quite honest. I think we all like to see our channels grow because it sort of tells us, at the end of the day, it sort of tells us that we have a nice, healthy audience. And also, if you like the videos, please slap that like button. That also helps tremendously as well with the motivation. I certainly appreciate it. Now, I'm going to ask a favor of each and every one of you. If you are not aware of my 2 gaming YouTube content creator cohorts, partners in crime, or whatever we want to call them, Eustace Farmer and Doug Zorley, I would ask you, it would be a big favor to me if you're not already a subscriber of their channels, if you would please go over to their channels and subscribe to their channels. But certainly if you don't want to take my word for it, then watch a little bit of their content. I really think you will enjoy it. I enjoy both of the content that they put out. And it's just exceptional, family-friendly, entertaining content, educational content, and very much instructional content as well. Go over there, subscribe to their channels, click the subscribe button, click the like button on their stuff, and that way they'll feel motivated as well. And well, you can tell them that the Grizzly Bear Sims sent you over there. And while you're at it, make sure you also check out our Discord server. That is a Simulation Gaming Society Discord server. That is the group that Eustace Farmer, Doug Zorley, and myself formed a month or so ago. I think we kicked things off around the first part of, was it April? Was it the 1st of April that we kicked that off, or maybe it was the 1st of May? I can't remember now. But anyway, it hasn't been that long ago, and we'd love to have you over on our Discord server if you have questions, or if you have questions or suggestions or anything like that about any of the games that we play. Certainly feel free to head over there and ask those questions. And you can also catch us over on Facebook as well. We've got a Facebook page for the Simulation Gaming Society as well. Then, of course, all of my content or all of my information is down below as well. I've got a Discord server, I've got a Facebook page, I've got all that stuff. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up, this last little stretch here on Final Approach, I suppose, if I'm thinking about an airplane with these big long wings. Thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. Please take good care of yourself and also of each other. Don't forget, next week, Monday, I'm going to be telling you about why that episode is so special to me. You won't want to miss it. And so thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for watching all of my content. God bless you all. Take care, and bye-bye.